Hello, it's me, Julian Greystoke. Welcome back to my channel. I'm the author of The Wolf and the Hawk, a fantasy romance that you can buy on Amazon right now, or later. It's really not a rush. Today we're going to talk about something that has been on my mind for a little while. Actually, two somethings. Two things that books seem to speed through a little bit, often to the annoyance of many readers. And the fact that I, honestly, don't think it's a bad thing, necessarily, that those things are sped up. What are we talking about? We are talking about love and grief. I actually recently watched a YouTube video kind of talking about this, where the creator asked their viewers things that annoy them about how grief is portrayed in books. I think it may have actually been kind of about death, but grief got brought up, and many of the viewers talked about how grief goes too fast in books. And that got me thinking about how often insta-love is also a critique that people have for stories, where characters will know each other for a very short amount of time, days, weeks, and they're already confessing their undying love for one another. And with grief, you often see it, especially in like fantasy and sci-fi, where characters can die. Not as much contemporary in like romance per se, but in books where characters can die, it is fairly common for the characters who remain alive to get over the death of their friend pretty damn quickly. Anybody who's experienced the loss of a loved one can tell you that it is a slow and painful process to come to a sort of even keel after that loss. So grief is something that lasts a very long time, and also, while there are people who do decide that they're meant for each other and plan to get married after 2 weeks, it's not actually the most common human experience. It is more average for people to slowly come into a relationship and decide what they want to do from there. So why are these things rushed through so badly in books? And is that a bad thing? I actually don't think so. Now let me make a couple of exceptions here. There are many books that are about love and grief. Books that are exploring these things. Romance books obviously explore love in various forms, and there are books like Stephen King's Pet Sematary, for example, that explore grief, and I'm sure you guys could probably name a bunch more in the comments below if you want to, favorite books about grief. The big thing about those books is that they are a book setting out to explore this very often slow-moving and long-term thing. Now don't get me wrong, there are plenty of romance books that have insta-love. But books that explore grief tend to be the ones that do take the time to really go in depth about the experience and deal with the humanity of it. And that's the thing. The thing that makes me go, I'm really okay if books speed through love and grief a little bit. If you're reading, say, a fantasy adventure, you don't have time. Ain't nobody got time to bring that book to a screeching halt long enough to explore a character's grief, because it's gonna be a long process. I'm not saying that it should be glossed over completely. If a character's best friend dies, they should definitely have a reaction to it, and it should definitely be brought up multiple times in the story. However, do we really need to sit with a character as they go through all of the realistic and often lengthy phases of grieving for that friend when that is not what the book is about? The same thing with love. I can be pretty forgiving of some insta-love because the book needs to keep moving. There is a plot going on, presumably. It may seem like the characters move way too fast with their romance. They've only known each other for like 2 weeks and now they're saving the world together and making with the smoochy smooches. That just doesn't seem realistic. But again, just like with grief, we don't have time to sit around and watch them go on all of these boring dates. We may want to, but that's what fan fiction is for, alright? We don't have time to sit around and watch two people fall in love at the rate that most people fall in love. And that's why it happens in books, and that's why I'm kind of okay with it. Because the book needs to keep going. We cannot stop for Anna to mourn Fred for chapters and chapters, as would be realistic. She's gonna have to have an immediate reaction, and possibly a few other reactions further in the book, but that's gonna have to be it. Just like we don't have time to watch Anna and Fred be cute and fall in love with each other in every moment of that. Again, that's what fan fiction is for. So I guess those are all my thoughts. Probably a shorter video this time, but that's why I'm okay with love and grief being kind of truncated in books. Because we just don't have time for such big and complex emotions unless the book is specifically about those big and complex emotions. Thanks for watching today, everybody. I hope you're having an excellent day. Don't forget to weigh in with your opinions in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think authors do skip too fast through love and grief? Do you wish that they would slow the fuck down? Or do you kind of agree with me that, yeah, there's probably a reason that they go through those things a little bit fast? Don't forget that I have a lot of videos here on this channel, and I put out new ones at least twice a week. There are all kinds of playlists if you want to be specific about what you like to binge. I also have a Patreon where your donations go towards helping me self-publish my books, and also you get exclusive access to content not seen here on the regular channel, including things about my pets and more about my own writing process. Don't forget all the links to my social media are in the doobly-doo for ease of your clicking, and I will see all of you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!
Okay, so I'm pretty sure you've seen lots of cool things in your life, but nothing nearly as cool as my patrons, like Belle, Patrick, Anne Sophie, Callison, Ray, Artemis, Shelby, Zaire, Jesper, Irene, Scribbling Cat, Savvy, Jenny, Amanda, Lisa, Sarah, Anna W., Anna C., Light Julie, OS, Hidden Glade, Persephone, Kit, and Lennox. Like, how could you possibly have seen anything as cool as that? You haven't.
Days may not be fair always. That's when I'll be there always. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just 1 year, but always.